Hey everybody, I'm back. I know, I've been gone forever. That sickness took me down for quite a bit, but now I am back and we definitely plan to do a lot more videos next patch. But let's go ahead and end this one with the event guide. So let's go ahead and start with the events that are ending soon. The first one we have is the Lolo campaign. Now this one is pretty simple. It's basically bingo. All you have to do is just roll, and hopefully you can be like me and just get the special one and get all the rewards in one go. But this is still pretty simple to do. As you see over here, if you just log in, you spin your wayplates, and you do your guidebook, you're going to be able to get these coins, which gives you one row. Keep doing that and eventually you'll clear out this whole board. And we have 3 boards all together, so make sure that you do that before this patch ends in a little over 4 days. Next we have Virtual Crisis. Now, if you're only trying to go for Asterite, this one is not too bad. First, you just need to clear the Crisis Trials, which you can easily do with any characters on your account. Once you clear all 8 of those, you're going to get most of the Asterite in this event. Then we're going to be able to go over to the Disaster Trial. Now, here's where you're going to make this event much, much harder. But if you're just trying to go for Asterite, all you have to do is just get a score of 15 or above in each of the levels. But if you want to try to go for the special Virtual Crisis badge, you're going to need to at least get a stress level of 25 in the 4 levels. If you're going to try to aim for that 25, you're going to need to start using some of your actual resonators on the account. But if you're just trying to go for 15, you should be fine with the trial resonators. And I'm sure you noticed on my account that I was actually able to get 40 on all of these. Now, this is a very, very difficult challenge. And let's just say my resonators are very sequence heavy in most of these challenges. So they were able to barely get through these. So if you're not able to reach that full 160, don't feel too bad. Next we have Limited Recon Tacet Crisis. I went ahead and did an event guide talking about everything that you need to get all the rewards. So if you're having trouble, feel free to go ahead and check that out so that we can quickly get this done before the patch ends. Then hopefully you guys have logged in enough times to where you got all the rewards. And we have Core Cleansing once again, so please make sure that you're getting your double drop chance. You have 3 every day, so make sure that you're at least spinning your wayplates at least on some type of Tacet field every day until the patch ends. Next we have the outfit trials, to where Lament and Tacet got a Pacific outfit. Do make sure that you test those out so that way you can get your 20 Asterite for each of them. And lastly we have the new character trials, so where you want to make sure that you're testing out the new characters of Sway and Amith, so that way you can make sure that you get the Asterite there. But this does bring us to the characters themselves. So if you do plan to roll for these characters, of course you have to the end of the patch, which again is a little past 4 days. I went ahead and did a quick guide on Sway, so if you want to know more about her, feel free to check that out. But essentially, she is a healer for negative status units. So if you do plan to get negative status units in the future, she may be a pretty good pickup. And of course, we all know how strong Amith is, so if you decided to get a few more extra copies or just get her on your account, now is your time. And we have an old character rerun, to where if you want to try to get some of the older characters on your account, like Jinshi or some of these, feel free to do that. They did have reduced rates for these characters with this Gift of the Star Path. So if you do attempt to do it, you can try to save a couple rows if you need to get that last few sequences on some of your favorite characters. So now I want to just go ahead and briefly mention the store. So first off, we have the special bike for this patch. Now, if you are interested in getting this, but you're a little low on funds, there is no rush to get this. This is always going to be $30, so you can pick it up whenever you decide. Now, what is limited, of course, are the special outfits of Lene and Tacet, to where right now they're 1980 Lunite, but after this patch ends, is going to go back to 2480. So if these are characters that you specifically like and you want to try to get them their swimsuits, I recommend that you try to get it before the patch ends, if possible. Next, we have our bundles, to where if you do plan to get some upcoming characters, you might want to consider picking up the bundles because these are generally pretty good deals. So if your budget can afford it, it might end up saving you money in the long run. And lastly, we have the point shop, to where if you've been doing the hazard zone, or if you have been doing some Tacet holograms, make sure that you check this out because you can sometimes buy some pretty nice materials in here. And if you are going for those newer characters, this can help save some of those wayplates. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some of those permanent events, to where you don't have to really rush trying to get these done. The first one is a glimpse of Zhangfeng, to where this is essentially an exploration event, to where you can go to various regions, and as you go and do everything that they ask you to do, you're going to increase your event reward. So eventually you're able to get a bunch of extra items. So just do this in your leisure time, so that way you can get a little bit of extra Asterite, and materials for your characters. The next thing that we have is Shape of Yesterday. Basically, it's Scales of the Past. So again, these are things that you do not have to do, but they're always nice to leave on your account for that little extra Asterite if you're trying to get that character last minute. And once again, we have tactical holograms. You'll see right here where it says we have a little over 4 days to complete this. Again, there is no time limit on the tactical holograms. You can always challenge these at any time and always get the rewards. These are just first time player rewards, and of course points that you can use to buy items. So don't feel pressure to go ahead and knock this out. And for the last one, we have Ming Xing Notices. This is pretty simple to where you're basically just doing side quests around the map. Knock out these side quests, you're going to get currency. With the currency, you're able to buy items for your character and get some Asterite, as well as tuners, tilt tubes, and various other items that you need. Which brings us to the recurring events. And the first one that I want to talk about is End State Matrix. Now, hopefully you went ahead and at least completed this to where you got the stability accord, so that we get all the Asterite there, and you did as much as you could in Singularity Expansion. Hopefully you're able to at least get 21,000 points, so that way you're able to get the Asterite, and ideally if you could get up to 58,000 points, so that we can get the title. But one other thing that I do want to mention are these cycle rewards. So if you are trying to go for this weapon skin, you generally want to try to aim for at least 150 points a patch. So you notice down here, I was able to get 180 points, and the easiest way to get your 150 points are to do these recurring tasks. But they're going to reset next patch. So if you have not finished that yet, I recommend that you try to do that before this patch ends, because you see right here, these are going to refresh at the end of the patch. So do make sure that you at least set up your teams to where you can go ahead and knock that out. But when it comes to the cycle challenge tasks, there is no rush to get those, but do remember some of these can be a little difficult, especially if you don't get one of the limited characters a patch. So hopefully you either have Sui Sui or Yang Yang, so that way you can try to get these points. But again, it doesn't really matter as long as you're able to try to get 600 points in 4 patches. Unless you're really trying to go for these medals at the end of the patch, to where again, if you want to go for those medals, you need to knock out those cycles that I talked about. Right now, I have 2, and at the very end, we're going to have 13. Next, we have Whimpering Waste, to where we have plenty of time to go ahead and knock this out. But if you are going for those new characters, you might want to just go ahead and knock this out, because this is a lot of Asterite, and you do not want to miss out on it. But one thing that is ending soon is the Tower of Adversity. So if you have not completed this, make sure that you do that this weekend, because this is ending in a little over 2 days. And not only does this give you a pretty good bit of Asterite, but it also allows you to buy items from the point shop that I mentioned earlier. So try your best not to forget this. And then lastly, we have the permanent events, to where if there are any events that you forgot to do, you can always come here to knock them out. For me, I still have Banners Never Fall, so if I wanted to try to get a little bit extra Asterite or a little bit of extra materials, I could always knock this one out. Which brings us to patch 3.6. So we already know that the new Resonators coming out is Jingzhao and Jigarin. So if you do plan to get those characters, make sure that you're preparing for them. But for this upcoming patch, we're going to get 2 new main quests, 1 for each new character. We're also going to be getting some new events. Our main event is going to be the Resonant Sim Realm. This one actually looks pretty interesting. I think it's going to be something similar to Elusive Realm, but a little bit different, where we have to go through various stages, fight various bosses, and get various buffs to increase our characters. So feel free to go ahead and check out the channel, to where I'm going to dive deeper down and explain how the event works once it comes out. We also have another event that they're rerunning, the Second Coming of Solaris. Basically, you're going to be looking at random scenes, so you're going to try to spot the thing that doesn't fit. If you pick it right, you're generally going to be able to get past the stage and collect your rewards. We also have another combat event, If Dreams Still Reverberate, to where this is a co-op event to where you can hang out with your friends and try to knock this out to get through it much faster. But they still have the feature to where you can do it solo if you don't feel like waiting for your friends. We also are going to probably have another event, The String Remembers, so where we're going to be able to get a special instrument that we can practice and play with, and there will probably be an event tied to it to where maybe we can get some rewards. They're also bringing back the Wuthering Exploration, to where if we just go around and explore, we're going to get free rewards. And we're going to have a login event. There will also be special accessories for the 2 new characters, but if you do not buy them during the patch, you can always pick them up later for Asterite at another time. and we're going to be getting some new echoes, one mainly being an Overlord class. Still, that means most likely if you do plan to pick up the new characters, you're going to have to be farming this new Overlord class to fully get their echo set. So expect to do that. But with that, you should now know everything that you need to know to be ready for patch 3.6. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, I would greatly appreciate a like so that way we can spread more on YouTube. But other than that, I'll talk with you guys later.